When we speak of the victory of soul over circumstance, we refer to the growth of inner light over the pressures and problems of outer living. The strength to do it right develops within ourselves. We grow from within, and as we grow stronger from within, the adversities of the outside become less. The individual must save himself. He cannot be saved by any outside power, nor can he be destroyed by any outside power. He must grow according to his own inward life and the powers that were bestowed upon him when he was set forth as a creature in this great world. Life is a series of small victories over doubts, uncertainties, temptations. Wherever there is a victory, there is another flash of light in the soul body. And out of its building comes the securities of life. Out of the power of this increasing soul body comes the power to still improve more rapidly and make further growth. The immortality of man is growing up in him. It is obvious that there must be a victory of soul over body.
Maturity is that condition in which a person reaches the full use of their own potential capacities. We realize that it is perfectly possible for the individual to mature in conditions or situations that are not entirely fortunate. Growth is the process of accepting personal responsibility for conduct. To have this responsibility challenges us. We have the gracious opportunity to make wise decisions. If, however, we ignore this opportunity long enough, then nature moves in and forces upon us decisions which may be very contrary to our desires. If there are not reasons for living, life is likely to end or become useless, which perhaps is even more tragic than death itself. As it is for the most part a lonely struggle of the person against the negative situations around him. We cannot afford to just drift along hoping that nature and circumstances will mature us. There has to be some leadership from within the self. This leadership is intended by nature, and the means to attain it are available to nearly everyone. Now, nature, fortunately, is not of the mind of the average person trying to avoid complications. The mature person is one who is trying to guard the eternal values of himself. He is also trying to guard these values in others and for others. He is not forcing upon them decisions which he should make. He is not burdening their lives with the penalties of his own bad disposition. A life without some kind of purpose can never really be properly directed. the final thing that we must attain in our maturity is insight. We must learn what is really important. We must begin to learn not only what we have to have, but what we are best off without. The individual who wakes up in himself, it is not necessary for him to compromise. He has to recognize the value of integrity. It is not necessary for him to be part of anything he does not approve of. Man obviously has more faculties, more powers, more propensities, more capacities than are ever used. Nature therefore indicates an open door ahead. Nature points out that man can be more than he is at any given time. But he can only be more if he does something about it. If he begins to use these additional faculties, he benefits. Man has tremendous potentials. If he uses them, he advances his own life and the destiny of his world. The person who has the deepest insight lives the best life. So we work for maturity. We work for a realization that we are growing up in space, that we are self-directing, self-governing units of divine consciousness and divine mind. We do not understand entirely what it means to grow up in the universe. And actually, we have to assume that the entire life pattern we have here is a preparation for something. Or if not in the sense a complete preparation, then it is a phase of a long process of schooling. It is a day in some kind of a great educational system, the graduate from which has some particular goal, some purpose, some achievement proper to the effort that has been made.